A clampdown on basic rights. We'll tell you why the Taliban is cracking down on Afghan women who are seeking higher education. Plus, fighting for survival. Actor August Winter is here to discuss their role in the critically acclaimed film Women Talking. And if you can see her, you can be her. The organization See Her is honoring actor and singer Janelle Monáe. Welcome back to Advocate Today. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. We begin in Afghanistan, where the Taliban government has suspended university education for all female students in the country. They've been denied the right to education since the Taliban takeover in 2021. The move is drawing international condemnation, and many Afghan students were in the middle of final exams when the news broke. The announcement came as the UN Security Council was meeting in New York City on Afghanistan. The Taliban initially promised more progressive reforms to the international community, including expanding women's rights. Since the takeover, they have done the exact opposite. The organization Human Rights Watch said in a statement that the Taliban are making it clear every day that they don't respect the fundamental rights of Afghans, especially women. Over the course of human history, women have been suppressed and subjugated within a given religious community. Based on the 2018 novel of the same name, the new movie Women Talking shares the true events that happened in Bolivia within a Mennonite colony. The women were continually attacked, drugged, and raped by men within that community. The film is receiving critical acclaim for its powerful message. I connected with non-binary star August Winter about telling this kind of story, working with an all-star cast, and more. Hi, welcome August Winter. Thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I wanted to begin by just asking you a little bit of background about your acting career. You're in this film, Women Talking, which is getting incredible buzz as it should. But I'd love to hear a little bit about how you got into acting and some of the high points.
Yeah, sure. I started acting when I was 6. I played Gretel in The Sound of Music in a theater production out in Vancouver. And so from then, kind of up until now, I've been in acting. I started in theater. I spent 6 years at the Stratford Festival, which was really, really cool. And then transitioned pretty much full time into film and TV, and have worked in several projects since then.
Great. Well, thank you for that. This film, Women Talking, is incredibly important and fascinating. It's based on a true story of a Mennonite community that I think this happened in 2013 about rampant sexual abuse.
Mhm.
And I wonder when you first became aware of this project or when you first received the script, how did it resonate with you? What was your response to it?
Well, the first thing was the shock of not being aware of these kind of events that happen, and I think that's why this story is so important. Is that a lot of people had that reaction? They read this book or the screenplay and had no previous awareness of these events that were taking place. So, first of all, just the shock of that kind of impact. But I think as much as it is a very specific environment and story, what resonated with me when I read this was this conversation that these people are having, these women in this hayloft. It's specific to their situation, but the themes are so universal for what a lot of people in the world are going through right now. So it had the impact of both the specific story and then the resonant to everything the world is trying to figure out right now.
Uh, this film, Women Talking, is incredibly fascinating and important. And one of the parts of it that is particularly interesting to me is the inclusion of your character, Melvin, who is a trans character. And I wonder if you would share a little bit about how you were able to research or discover any background about characters like Melvin, because queer and trans sexual abuse survivors are often not discussed or erased.
Yep. Um, so it's interesting because in terms of research, there's not a lot of documented people, trans folks, LGBTQ folks in these religious colonies. And so there wasn't a lot to pull from in that respect. But what I found really helpful was an early discussion I had with Sarah Polly, the director, around Melvin's decision to live as a man and to live that way and move forward, was that she was very clear that Melvin has always been this way. It was just the abuse and the attacks were a catalyst for him to make this decision to live this way, but that it wasn't the cause of it. And I think that's really important, because we can often see these things as, I don't know, a reaction to something that happened versus this is who this person always was. And so that was really important to me in portraying Melvin, is it was an act of empowerment, to make a choice in a situation where a lot of these people didn't have a choice.
I imagine that conversations on set from this incredible script, uh, there must have been some dramaturgy involved in discussions because the women themselves are going back and forth about, do we leave these men who've been systematically abusing us, or do we stay and fight back? What do we do about our sons? So it's incredibly dense. Would you talk a little bit about what it was like to be on that set, and if you can share some of the conversations that went on?
Yeah, it was a very unique experience because, as you were saying, it feels almost like a play, and theater. And I think that that's what's so special about it, is that you really are watching this conversation unfold. It's not cutting between a bunch of different days. This is one conversation that's happening. And so on set, we were lucky to have some rehearsals. So that was where a lot of the unfolding was happening. Anytime we got to an emotional part of the script, there was discussion around it. A lot of the actors were having the same kinds of discussion that these characters are having, which was difficult, but also really enriching and beautiful to watch unfold. And so, yeah, a lot. I mean, and then also a lot of takes. We shot a lot of takes of this, and so you were able to. Sarah was amazing at covering every single person in that loft so that you make sure you're getting every person's perspective on this conversation, because not everybody agrees at first in that hayloft.
Well, you're in this film with, you have a long career in acting, but you're in this film with some incredible heavy hitters, including Rooney Mara, Claire Foy, Jessie Buckley, and Frances McDormand. Would you talk a little bit about working with some of these incredible actors?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those dream kind of moments just to even be around these people and watch them work. I think the thing I can share that stands out about every single one of those people in their own way was how incredible they were on set at asking really powerful questions, digging so deep into what they were doing, and the integrity that they brought to these roles, I think was just incredible, like a whole other level of commitment to telling a story. And at the same time, though, how giving everyone was of their presence. They were so genuine and down to earth. And I'm not just saying that, like, it was just such a privilege to be in these people's company who are so good at what they do and yet can have a conversation with you. And yeah, it was really great people.
Well, August Winter from Women Talking, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Yeah, thank you for your questions. It was great to talk to you.
Of course. Thanks so much to August for stopping by. Their role as a trans character in the film delivers incredible power and emotion. Women Talking hits theaters on December 23rd. We talk a lot about on-screen representation on this show and why it's so important. Seeing oneself on screen can do wonders. It can inspire someone who isn't normally represented to dream big and shoot for the stars. The annual See Her Award honors those who are paving the way for women and girls. Star Janelle Monáe will receive the award at the 28th Critics' Choice Awards. Monet will be the seventh ever recipient of the See Her Award. They have been a constant advocate of gender equality and defying stereotypes. Their character portrayals represent authenticity on screen, and their work off screen includes co-chairing the nonprofit When We All Vote and starting the Femme the Future initiative. Monet was also just honored by the Trevor Project as the Suicide Prevention Advocate of the Year. Past See Her winners include stars Viola Davis, Gal Gadot, Claire Foy, Kristen Bell, Zendaya, and Halle Berry. Monet will be honored on January 15th at the Critics' Choice Awards. Congratulations to Janelle. They are beyond deserving of this honor, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Thank you for joining me on this Advocate today. We work to give you the content and coverage that advocates for you. Head to theadvocatechannel.com for more news and the Advocate Channel wherever you stream your content. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. I'll see you next time.